Behind every legend lies a reason. This is Myth and Motive.
1. Hidden among the majestic Himalayas, Bhutan is this mysterious Buddhist kingdom. 2. Despite having one of the world's lowest economies, illiteracy and poverty remain challenging issues. 3. However, the people here have the happiest lives in the world. 4. Not only is it the only country with a happiness minister, but its customs are so unique. 5. As the rest of the world yearns to set foot there. 6. In Bhutan, happiness and money are not measures of power. Instead, people value spiritual rituals over material things. 7. If you think you know everything about this country, these 9 secrets of Bhutan will amaze you. 8. Join us in discovering 9 unbelievable and interesting facts unique to Bhutan in today's video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Myth and Motive channel, and turn on notifications so you don't. 10. Bhutan is a small sovereign country located in the eastern Himalayas, at the intersection of East Asia and South Asia. Its location is quite special, is it? 12. To the north and northwest, it borders China, with about 477 kilometers of border with the Tibet Autonomous Region. 13. While to the south, southwest, and east, it borders India, with approximately 659 kilometers of border with Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, West Bengal, and Sikkim states clockwise. 14. Bhutan is a landlocked country, not bordering the sea, with a slightly elongated shape and an area of about 38,394 square kilometers. 15. History shows that Bhutan's territory was once larger to the south, but due to wars and treaties with the British East India Company. 16. And later British India, Bhutan's borders were reduced to what they are today. 17. This special geographical location has given Bhutan a unique topography. 18. Where pristine nature and biodiversity are preserved almost intact within the Himalayas. 19. To the north are Himalayan peaks over 7,000 meters high, with the highest peak Dankar Plenson at 7,570 meters still unconquered. 20. This area has extremely harsh weather. The highland region, where the capital Thimphu is located, is the most popular. 21. With many rivers and valleys, forests covering about 70. 22. Here, there are differences in forest types by altitude and seasonal weather variations. 23. The valleys are connected by numerous mountain passes, creating complex. 24. Notably, due to centuries of relative isolation, sparse population, and rugged terrain. 25. Bhutan has maintained one of the world's most intact ecosystems. 26. This country ranks in the top 10 for species density with over 55. 27. Including about 300 types of medicinal plants and over 770. 28. Among which are many rare species like the red panda, snow leopard, and golden langur. 29. Dear friends, Bhutan is not only blessed by nature with majestic landscapes. 30. But this country also hides many interesting facts that make the world curious. 31. The first interesting thing about Bhutan is that it measure well. 32. Using the Gross National Happiness Index instead of GDP, S leaders have prioritized people. 34. Realizing that the country was changing rapidly and at risk of losing traditional values. 35. They conceived the concept of gross national happiness as a way of comprehensive and sustainable development. 36. By 1972, the Bhutanese government officially introduced the concept of gross national. 37. Emphasizing that economic development must go hand in hand with social, cultural development, and environment. 38. Bhutan is also the only country that uses gross national happiness to evaluate its development. 39. Gross national happiness is a development philosophy centered on human happiness. 40. This is the idea of former King Jigme Singye Wangchuck. 41. Who believe that true prosperity doesn't lie in material wealth. 42. But in the balance between economic development, cultural preservation, environmental protection. 43. Gross national happiness is evaluated based on 44. Which are sustainable economic development, preservation of traditional culture. 45. Effective state governance and include. 46. Specifically psychological well-being, living standards, good health. 47. Cultural diversity, time use, and ecological resilience. 48. Therefore, the Bhutanese government is always aware of the importance. 49. Of bringing good things and joy to the people. 50. All basic services like healthcare and education are provided free to citizens. Interestingly, to maintain this strategy, they consistently rank among the top 10 happiest countries in Asia. Bhutan has implemented some rather unusual but highly effective policies. Accordingly, Bhutan was the first country in the world to ban the sale and smoking of tobacco throughout its territory since 2004. Violators can face up to 5 years in prison. For those who wish to smoke, they are still allowed to import a certain amount of tobacco monthly after declaring and paying taxes. As for tourists wanting to bring tobacco into Bhutan, they must pay a very large fee. Additionally, Bhutan is one of the rare countries in the world without traffic lights. Instead of complex traffic light systems at some major intersections, there are booths decorated with vibrant colors reflecting Bhutan's cultural identity, where police officers direct traffic. The police wear navy blue uniforms, hats, and white gloves, looking very professional. Even the traffic signs in Bhutan are hand-drawn with humane messages, such as drive slowly, life is precious. Alongside these two policies, Bhutan is almost isolated from the modern world in many aspects. No prisons, no elevators, no drugs, theft, or begging. Overall, all these efforts have made Bhutan a country that may be modest economically, but extremely rich in happiness and spiritual well-being. Besides that renowned quality of happiness, Bhutan also harbors a unique spiritual culture that astonishes many tourists. That is the practice of decorating homes and temples with phallic symbols, meaning vivid images of genitalia, believed to bring luck and ward off evil spirits. Reportedly, if you visit Bhutan, you'll immediately be drawn to the colorful drawings of male genitalia, called phallic symbols, appearing everywhere from village gates, house walls to shops. Moreover, people meticulously carve these symbols from wood and hang them dangling from roofs as unique decorations. If this symbol makes many people blush, interestingly, in Bhutanese culture, these symbols are not considered vulgar or sensitive. On the contrary, people believe they bring luck as they represent fertility, vitality, and prosperity. They are seen as a sign of growth and abundance in life, bringing fortune to families and communities. Additionally, they also believe phallic symbols can ward off evil spirits and bad omens. This belief originates from a legend about a famous saint known as the Divine Madman. He was known for his eccentric actions and worship of phallic symbols. He used these images as a way to spread Buddhist philosophy and drive away evil spirits. In fact, they feel happy and reassured whenever they see these images in daily life. Not only preserving unique cultural aspects like phallic symbols, Bhutan also has its own way of protecting the integrity of those values. That is the strict tourism fee policy, making every tourist's visit a premium experience. While many other countries try to attract mass tourism with stimulus policies, Bhutan charges tourism fees. And this is the third fact we want to share with you. Accordingly, each tourist visiting Bhutan must pay at least $200 per day. This money is used to cover various expenses, including accommodation, meals, guides, and insurance. In reality, the number of flights to and from Bhutan is limited as the main airport in the capital is among the world's most dangerous. Pilots have to land between high mountain peaks. So, although it's a mysterious country attracting many tourists, due to terrain limitations affecting flights, plus the high-quality, low-quantity tourism policy with mandatory daily fees, the annual tourist count usually fluctuates around tens of thousands. The $200 per day is not just a tourism fee but an investment in sustainability, cultural preservation, and community development in Bhutan, ensuring that tourism benefits both visitors and local residents. However, after reopening post-COVID-19 pandemic, Bhutan has made adjustments in its tourism policy. Includes reducing the sustainable development fee to attract tourists back and revive the economy. Currently, Bhutan has reduced the fee to $100 per day per adult, equivalent to about over 2.5 million Vietnamese dong, and $50 per day for children aged 6 to 12. This fee is effective until August 31, 2027. Dear friends, if the tourism fee policy reflects how Bhutan protects its national culture, Then the polyandry custom reveals an interesting perspective on family happiness from within. And this is also the fourth interesting fact about Bhutan. A woman can have multiple husbands. Communities in northern and western Bhutan have a matrilineal and patrilocal concept. In these communities, women play the role of family pillars, often going out to work and supporting the whole family. This contrasts with many other cultures where men typically hold the main role in the family. Moreover, in these areas, it is not uncommon for a woman to marry multiple husbands. And notably, her husbands are often biological brothers from the same family. Specifically, a woman may marry the eldest brother in the family. And the younger brothers will also be considered her husbands by default. This tradition originates from the division of property and land within the family over generations. All brothers will share one wife and children to keep the property unified. This also creates a unique and close-knit family structure where the bond among members is strengthened. This marriage system not only reflects Bhutan's cultural differences, but also shows the important role of women in society. However, this is not a widespread custom across the country. The majority of Bhutanese people follow monogamy. The form of polyandry among biological brothers once existed, and may still exist in certain regions, though not common. Not only impressing with unique cultural aspects like polyandry, Bhutan also earns global admiration as the world's first carbon-negative country. And do you understand what carbon-negative means? The concept of carbon-negative means a country absorbs more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere than it emits. This is a challenging goal that many developed countries are still striving for. As early as 2009, Bhutan incorporated environmental protection goals in its constitution, stipulating that at least 60% of the country's land area must be permanently forested. Notably, in reality, this figure in Bhutan has exceeded 72%. Thanks to strict deforestation policies and restrictions on timber, Bhutan absorbs more CO2 than it emits, becoming the world's first carbon-negative country. In fact, Bhutan even absorbs additional emissions from neighboring countries, becoming the green lung of the planet. Additionally, the development of sustainable hydropower also plays a crucial role, as Bhutan primarily relies on this clean energy source to meet domestic electricity demand. Prioritizing hydropower over fossil fuel sources has helped Bhutan avoid a large amount of carbon emissions into the atmosphere. Moreover, the awareness and responsibility of Bhutanese people for the environment are indispensable factors. Raised in a culture that values nature, Bhutanese people have a deep connection with their living environment and are always conscious of the importance of protecting it for future generations. And clearly, ahead of its time, Bhutan banned the use of plastic bags in 1999. However, a sad reality is that despite being an ideal model, Bhutan still faces challenges like climate change, such as melting glaciers in the Himalayas and economic development pressures. Nevertheless, their way of balancing conservation and progress has proven that green growth is possible. In the context of climate change threatening the Earth's future, the success story of Bhutan becomes even more important and needs to be widely studied and learned from. Besides leading the world in environmental protection, Bhutan makes many countries envious, as this place completely lacks the concept of unemployment. This is the sixth interesting fact that will amaze you about this country. In reality, similar to most other countries in the world, Bhutan still faces unemployment, especially among newly graduated youth. However, the way Bhutan approaches employment issues and the differences in its economic and cultural structure create a distinct picture compared to many other countries. According to Bhutan's government policy, every citizen is guaranteed the right to employment. The state proactively creates jobs through community development projects, sustainable agriculture, and environmental. Even in remote rural areas, people can always participate in activities such as afforestation, infrastructure construction, or traditional handicraft development. Moreover, Bhutan focuses on training practical skills that meet societal needs, rather than formal degrees. The traditional craft village system is thriving, helping people easily find jobs that match their abilities. However, no unemployment does not mean high income. Many people still work in jobs with modest salaries. And clearly, Bhutan still faces employment challenges. Expectations for office jobs or in modern industries are increasing, while the number of these positions may be limited. Therefore, youth unemployment remains an issue that the Bhutanese government is striving to address. Through skill training programs, startup support, and attracting investment into new economic sectors. Similar to how they eliminated the concept of unemployment, Bhutan strictly applies a mandatory national dress policy, a traditional heritage that has become a source of national pride. Let's explore the seventh interesting fact about this country with us. Bhutan's attire became widely known in the 17th century, embodying the unique identity of the nation, and the mandatory wearing of this national is not a fashion trend but a law since 1989. Clearly reflecting the philosophy that cultural preservation is the foundation of national happiness. In other words, Bhutan mandates its citizens to wear traditional attire to promote and preserve the country's heritage, while men must wear the gho, the knee-length robe, tied at the waist forming a pouch in front. Women wear the kira, a long garment wrapped around the body combined with a outer jacket. The colors and patterns on the attire often reflect social status and profession. And notably, the mandatory national dress is not limited to holidays, formal events, or visits to temples but is also applied in offices, schools, and many other daily activities. This demonstrates the consistency and importance that the Bhutanese government and people place on maintaining cultural identity. This regulation is typically enforced strictly, contributing to a distinctive and easily recognizable image of Bhutan internationally. Additionally, the Bhutanese government sees this as a way to resist foreign cultural ways, especially as tourism develops. Not only serious about attire, Bhutanese people also have a unique culinary role that will make non-spicy eaters scream in terror. The eighth fact, they consider chili as the main ingredient in every dish, instead of viewing chili merely as a spice added to enhance spicy flavor, as the rest of the world typically does. In Bhutan, crushed chilies, especially green and red bell peppers, are often used in large quantities and are a key ingredient in many traditional dishes. If in Vietnam, pho is considered the soul of cuisine, then in Bhutan, emadachi, also known as chili cheese stir-fry, is regarded as the national dish. The main components of this dish include chilies and cheese, often cooked with onions, garlic, and tomatoes. This dish is not merely a combination of ingredients, but also a strong gustatory experience with a characteristic spicy flavor of chilies, blended with a rich creaminess of cheese. The dish has many variations depending on the type of chilies and cheese used, but chilies are always an indispensable and major component. The special fondness for chilies in Bhutanese cuisine may stem from the climatic and geographical conditions where chilies thrive. Additionally, chilies are believed to help keep warm in the cold Himalayan climate. Bhutanese people not only use fresh chilies but also process them into various forms, such as dried chilies and chili powder for extended use to enhance the flavor of dishes. Stews, stir-fries, or soups often feature chilies, creating a distinctive spicy flavor that is hard to confuse. An interesting fact about Bhutan's spicy culinary culture is also circulated worldwide, that although chilies are almost dominant in many traditional dishes, this country has to import over 80% of its chilies from India, where chilies are grown extensively. The simple reason is that Bhutanese people love spicy flavors so much that domestic chili production cannot meet the huge demand. However, it must be emphasized that chilies are not the only ingredient, and do not completely replace vegetables or other proteins in Bhutanese meals. Rice remains the staple food, along with meats such as beef, pork, chicken, and vegetables playing important roles in their diet. Just as they preserve the traditional spiciness in every meal, Bhutan approaches digital technology slowly and selectively. In 1999, when the world was already surfing the web freely, this kingdom officially connected to the internet and became one of the last countries to enter the digital era. While neighboring countries like India and China had been using the internet since the early 90s, Bhutanese people were still embracing black and white television and handwritten letters. Notably, the reason for this delay was not poverty or backwardness but stemmed from a philosophy of sustainable development. King Jigme Singye Wangchuck feared that the internet would erode traditional culture. So it was only when measures to protect national identity were in place that Bhutan opened up the technology, implementing the internet gradually alongside efforts to preserve culture and education. However, quite paradoxically, even after connecting, the internet speed in the early 21st century here was still as slow as eternal, with exorbitant prices, sometimes costing up to $20 per hour of access. In recent years, Bhutan has made significant progress in developing internet infrastructure and enhancing accessibility for its people. The number of internet users in Bhutan has increased significantly, though the government maintains a cautious approach. Internet cafes must close before 9 p.m. to protect the youth. Social media, while popular, is never allowed to overshadow traditional community activities. Particularly, Buddhist monasteries still restrict internet use, considering it a distraction for monks. Dear friends, this is also the last strange truth we want to share in today's video. If you have ever been to Bhutan or know more intriguing mysteries about this happy kingdom, please share with us in the comments section below. And if you found this exploration journey interesting, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the Myth and Motive channel, and turn on notifications so you don't. And now, goodbye and see you in the upcoming journeys.
If the legend hooked you, subscribe and open the next case.